Hey guys, welcome back to Vlog World. In this interview video series, this is the second video. In this video, I'll talk about my interview experience with Nokia and few other companies before I got selected to Nokia. After I got selected in Infosys, I was trying to improve my coding skills. I would say my coding skills improved from 4 out of 10 to 5 out of 10. During this point, I was able to understand arrays, strings, and all other basic problems, and I was solving problems on my own in HackerRank. During that time, a company called Infotrellis came to our campus. The first one was a coding assessment. I cleared that round, and then we had in-person interview. The in-person interview was pretty long. Close to 50 plus students were selected, and so many people are waiting. And I got to interview with the manager of the company, and the interview was, I would say, pretty decent. I was able to answer technical questions, theoretical questions. As I said, I'm pretty good in theoretical knowledge, so I was able to answer those questions. He asked me a question where he asked me to explain printf and scanf libraries. How these libraries work? So I told printf and scanf are in HDIO.h. He told how these header files work. He asked me very in-depth questions. I had absolutely no clue how those things work, so I told him I did not know. And then he asked me a few puzzles. Out of 3 puzzles, I answered 2 puzzles, and I was not able to answer 1 puzzle. I personally felt I did a decent job in that interview, and the results came. I was not selected. The main takeaway for me from this interview was I was able to communicate properly with an interviewer for 40-50 minutes. I did not have that experience with bulk companies. It was a 15-20 minutes interview, but in this round I had properly communicated back with the interviewer for a long period of time. Then came Nokia. The first round was an assessment round. It had multiple choice questions as well as coding questions. I was practicing multiple choice questions in Geeks for Geeks, and I cleared the first round in Nokia. Then came the second round. So second round was in-person interview. Certain people had 2 technical rounds. I had 1 technical round, and when I went to the interview, they asked me a lot of theoretical questions. They asked me multiple questions from OS like deadlock, and then they asked me dynamic philosopher problem and so many other problems. I was able to answer all those questions because I understood operating systems. I understood all the page ranking algorithms. I wrote all these steps in the paper, and I explained them step by step to the interviewer. And then they asked me a few questions in C and C++. I was able to answer them as well. They asked me about functions, and they asked me about structures. They did not go to pointers, luckily, because I was not very good at pointers at that time, so they did not go to pointers, luckily, and I was able to solve all the questions. I did not answer a few questions properly in C, like there was a question about a global variable, and they asked me how the variable will change inside a function. I think I missed that question, and the interviewer explained me that it works like this. Then the second round was over. I was waiting outside. My friend's second round also over, but he got called for third round. I was like, oh my god, they did not call me for third round. He was the one who was called for third technical round. I was like, okay. One more guy went for second technical round. One of my friends went for third technical round. I finished only 1 technical round. I was like, okay, even this is gone. I had a very good hope in that company because I personally felt I did a really good job in the interview. And after 5 o'clock, they said the interview is done. The result will be announced later. I did finish my HR round, but everyone finished the HR round. I was in doubts like, will I be selected or not? And after a few days, the result came, and 5 candidates were selected, and luckily I was selected. So I was very happy that I got placed in a product-based company and a reputed company like Nokia, and that's how I got selected in Nokia. So what did I change to get placed in Nokia? I would say I improved my communication skills, that is for sure. And apart from that, I prepared theoretical questions a lot. I was very good in networking and OS concepts, and I was theoretically strong, and even practically I was able to solve all the basic coding questions. Luckily, they did not go for linked list or pointers during that time in Nokia. I was pretty lucky, I would say. If they had asked me linked list and pointer question, I would have messed up, I would say, because I studied the linked list code, and if they asked me traversal and other stuff, I would have said. But if they asked me pretty complex questions in linked list, I would have definitely not be able to solve those questions, but I was lucky. What I personally thought is I was presenting myself better, and I was able to answer questions properly, and I was not tense. So that is one important aspect. I was pretty calmly answering those questions. The interviewer made me comfortable. I would thank them for that. She was in my team after I got selected, and when I started my work, I met her and I said thanks for making me pretty comfortable during the interview process. It was a great experience. The one important thing I would suggest for everyone is, even though you get rejected from multiple companies, have a notes and try to learn important things from each of the interview and improve yourself. You will know how you have performed in an interview. After the interview, you will know that whether you will get selected to the next round or not. If you think you had made a mistake, try to improve on that mistake. Try to focus on key areas and improve on those areas. So that would be my suggestion for the freshers. And next I will talk about my interview experience. After I started working in Nokia, I attended few companies, and then I will talk about my interview experience in US as a master student in the upcoming videos. If you guys find this video useful, please hit the subscribe button. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.